Hey guys, so we're gonna go over smart duplicate right now. So remember there are three types of smart duplicate. There's translational, rotational, and dilational. So I'm gonna go over an example of each of these and then one project like the abacus. So our first example I'm gonna use boxes to represent translational smart duplicate. So I just dragged out a box and shortcut key for for duplicate is Command D if you're on a Mac, and Control D if you're on any other computer. So I select my object, Command D. I'm gonna move it over to the side, and then making sure not to deselect the object, I'm gonna hit Command D again, and it's gonna just keep going in that same like linear fashion, and just extend outwards as many times as you want to duplicate. And so a warning that I want to make sure I tell you is like just don't spam your smart duplicate button because it's gonna crash your computer if you have too many objects. Okay, so translational smart duplicate can be used in all three axes, the Y, X, and Z. So I'm gonna duplicate this, move it over in the X-axis, raise it up, then move it across. So now it's like kind of out in space a little bit, and then I'm going to duplicate that, duplicate that, duplicate that. So as you can see, it's kind of interesting shape. All right, next we have rotational, rotational smart duplicate. So once again, I'm going to take a shape out. This time I choose a round roof. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and the basic, the basic smart duplicate for rotation is just Command D. You give it a little bit of rotation, like just say 17 degrees, and continue duplicating it. And so you get like this interesting shape like that. But for smart duplicates, we can combine multiple different types of smart duplicates. So I can move it over to the side and also give it rotation. So I'm going to do Command D, move it over, rotate it this way, maybe even like rotate it like that a little bit, and I can duplicate. So you can see it kind of goes up in that spiralish fashion. So keep going, come down like that. Yeah. Alright. I mean, for smart duplicate, it's sometimes difficult to tell like where your next object's gonna be when you smart duplicate. So I recommend like experimenting around with different smart duplicates. Alright, last we have the dilational one. This one, dilational just means to make bigger or smaller. So I'm going to do Command D on this cube right here and make it a little bit smaller. So remember, if we hold down Shift and drag on any of these markers, it scales the entire object and keeps the ratio. So I'm going to make it smaller. 16 looks okay. And Command D, Command D, Command D. So as you can see, every time it gets one size smaller. So the ratio of the first object to the second object is the same ratio as the second object to the third object, and so on. So now I'm going to combine all three of these and turn it into something, I don't know, might look interesting, might look completely disgusting, who knows. Okay, start with a duplicate, move it off to the side, move it off, move it up, give it rotation this way, that way, and this way. I'm going to even make it a little smaller. Then Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D. So if I zoom out, I can see that I have quite an interesting shape here. So it's doing all three translational, dilational, and rotational rotational smart duplicates at once. Okay. So now you might be wondering like what shapes can you make with this, right? Well, for one, you can make like human DNA, right? So it's a double helix shape. So what we want to start with is two spheres like this. And the reason being is when we use a lot of spheres, we can actually make it into a smooth, kind of curved cylinder. So I'm just gonna form a single unit right now. Okay. So maybe this big is good, and I'm gonna extend this there and extend that there. I'm gonna use what we call the align tool and select everything. Use this and choose align up and down. Also align side to side. Okay. So now you can see it's like directly in the middle. Now I want to finish creating my single unit. I'm going to select only the balls. So select the first ball, hold down shift, and select the second ball. Now we're going to duplicate this, move it up a little bit, and then give it some rotation, maybe 6 degrees, and we hit our Command D or Smart Duplicate button a few times. So we get a shape that looks something like this. Is now we're going to take this entire thing and then duplicate that. Now it's duplicated, and raise it up and perform Smart Duplicate on it. Turn the shape. Down a bit. Here. Okay, and Command D, Command D, Command D. If I zoom out, something like this, I can keep going. You can see it's spiraling up. So the reason we use those spheres, right, is so I can create a smooth connection through. So the more spheres you use, the smoother the twist will be. And so just make sure you have one unit and you only duplicate this unit. Don't like duplicate one unit and then copy the next unit and then do stuff like that. So in all, you can group it at the end once you're done. It's kind of a lot of shapes. So 180 shapes, I'm going to group it. And it's lagging. This is why we don't want to group 180 shapes together at once. Well, that's it.